Hey, how are you doing? Just wanted to do another quick update, another video on some of the results that we're actually getting that people are telling me by following the processes that we've shown people and shown them on how things have panned out. Now, remember, everybody is different and everybody is looking for a different outcome, looking for a different result. So, it's just the same thing as saying, well, do you want to be rich? Who's rich? It depends on what, like your version of rich is. Some people who were living in the gutter, if you actually go give them somewhere to live where they've got a bed and everything, they're going to feel rich. So don't gauge what you feel, to what other people may feel or what they are actually looking for. Some people just want to be left alone. They just want the debt collectors to disappear. Stop hassling them, stop giving them grief, and we're going to show you some examples of that. So we've got literally a plan for everyone. It is horses for courses, as you've heard before, maybe, but not everyone's the same. So some people want to chase under the GDPR, put the claim in, actually get some compensation, and we've got the plans on how to do that. Fantastic. Other people, like I say, they just want it to go away. They don't want to go into court. They don't want to force anything through. And others just want to, like, they've got a very low, like, sort of like a level of claim. I mean, settlement. They just want to settle it, pay way, way, way less and get rid of it. So we've helped people get through all these different scenarios with the documents we've got, the case laws that we have. All of it, everything that we do is under statute. It is not anything to do with three-letter processes or liens or conditional acceptance or anything like that. This is 100% using their rules. GDPR, General Data Protection Regulations, the Data Protection Act 2018, Financial Conduct Authority guidelines, as well as equity. Equity plays a big part of it. Still not many people getting that. Definitely not outside of our group. They have no idea what they're doing. So if you follow the processes exactly what we're showing, then you're going to get results. We've shown you last week there was people getting £5,205 for the compensation, which was also added on the costs of filing. So they got all that awarded back, and a few others who just got the CCJs. Another one I've just got today, I'm going to show you now and share the screen on. They've just got their CCJ through from the court, showed it going against the debt collector, which is just fantastic, and a couple of others. So I'm going to share my screen, show you exactly what's been happening, and the results that you can get as well if you follow the process. But again, I have to go and look at someone else's paperwork. They haven't asked me to. I'm going to go and ask them to, because they actually did not win their case. I think it was to set aside the CCJ, but I'll have to double check. Go and have a look at it. But this is all about preparation. It's exactly the same when I would be either getting ready for a fight myself or getting my guys ready to go into the ring. It's all about mental preparation. If you're going to make a mistake, if you're not got mentally prepared, then you're going to lose. And it's the same here. This guy lost his case. I have no idea. It was nothing to do with me, apart from he followed like some processes. I mean, it was from Facebook, so it wasn't even in our group. So it's quite kind of loosely following, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in doing things on your own. Everyone should try and do it wrong. We are all self-litigants at the end of the day, but it's difficult to follow a process through correctly if all you're doing is going on a few YouTube videos, few TikTok videos, and you're not getting to grips with the paperwork and having full direction. And it's so easy to slip up, and they are trying hard to make you slip up. And these DCAs, the debt collectors, they lie and they cheat and they twist all of the case law. You're putting case law in that stands up. So this is settled law. They have to show the deed of assignment, Pelias Construction Limited. And then the next thing they've twisted it around, and it's the judges are agreeing with them that it actually shows that they don't need to show a deed of assignment. It's nuts, but it's settled law, which means it's a precedent set. You cannot go against it. Under stare decisis, they have to follow the precedent set, or they're going to get into big trouble. There's no such thing as like an idiotic, corrupt judge that will just literally break laws, where they're going to end up losing everything. and possibly even facing criminal charges. I'm not saying that they can't be ignorant. I'm not saying that they can't be siding with the debt collectors. They want to support the corporations, but literally the DCAs, the debt collectors, all of them, the solicitors, their job is to lie, steal, and cheat. Right? That's it. But the judges, I'm not sure that they're just disgustingly corrupt. I just think of them. Some of them are a bit naive, right? And literally, and they're under pressure from the actual debt collectors and the corporations to follow routines that they've been doing for decades. Think of it this way: this debt collection industry has been around for many years, decades and decades. There's been debt collectors going on. Well, I bet you there's always been debt collectors. I bet you go back in time, there probably has never not been a debt collector. But this current set, and I'm not talking about the FCA, which is like relatively in a modern type of thing, but these rules, right, under the Law of Property Act 1925, right, that's when it is. The Law of Property Act 1925 showed you how to actually, do these notices of assignment, not the deed, the notice, but it has to be done on a deed. But it's very grey when you try and get away with the wording, which is what they do. Now, the GDPR, that wasn't in place in 1925. So the processes that they've set up and that they've been using for well before 1925, but they altered it slightly to fit in with the Law of Property Act 1925, right? But GDPR wasn't around then. Do you see what I mean? So now we've brought GDPR into it. And because we can show them how they're breaching GDPR, which if you compare 1925 Law of Property Act with GDPR, GDPR is very modern. Then we bring in the older law completely, which is equity, to highlight the unconscionable actions that they're taking by not following GDPR. So we can combine the two. Okay. Again, I'm not bragging. I don't care. I'm not bothered about anything, but you will not find this kind of clarity anywhere else. I don't care about other people's systems or anything like that, but you're not going to find it in a 3-letter process. You're not going to find it in a conditional acceptance. You're not going to find it by saying, well, that's not me. It's my legal fiction and I'm not, because your legal fiction is on your bank account, by the way. The legal fiction is on your national insurance number. It's on your credit file. It's on your mortgage or rent agreement. And there's a lot of things they can harm, by you not acknowledging your legal fiction. Yes, you have a person, but you are not a person. But you have to look after your person because you do have one. So it's just the same as your car. You don't look after your car, it's going to break down, it's going to run out of petrol, it's going to whatever, right? Your tires will go flat. You've got to maintain your vehicle. Your person is your vehicle. The legal fiction is a vehicle that can be used. Go public, private, go in and out of it. But you have to have it ready to be used. You can't let your person or your legal fiction, your vehicle, you cannot let it be ruined because you don't want to talk about it with a debt collector. You can stop them, boom, point blank, right? But if you ignore them, they will attack your person, your legal fiction, and then when you want to actually do anything with it, you're going to have problems. And the thing is, you should use it for your benefit. This is not a personal attack and scary and go after you. It's the ability or the opportunity for you to go out and get some knowledge and you to create even more sort of like experiences on how to deal with these situations. That's how you should be looking at it. Looking forward to it, getting excited about it and going and tackling them, pointing out point blank where they're breaching all their own regulations. And if they're breaching their own regulations, they should be held accountable. Okay. And I'm going to show you some results. Let me just kind of quickly I'm going to share the screen and show you. Hang on, present, share screen. Let's have a look. Go on the Windows. Here we go. This is a win against Link Financial. Maybe some of you have heard of that before. So let's click on there. I've redacted it, by the way. So the lady gave me, I've took all the details out. Share that there. All right, so this is, it states on the top, look, notice of judgment entered in the Civil National Business Centre. So it's actually at Northampton. So we're using they're bulk processing against them. How sweet is that? So to the claimant, obviously that's her name all redacted out of there. Claim number, and then claimant is her again. Against, look, defendant, Link Financial, 16th of April, just come through today. In accordance with your request, judgment was entered against the defendant on the 16th of April 2025. So now she has a CCJ against Link Financial. So now we can actually file to enforce it. So what do? Well, you can file to go up to the actual High Court. Now, the thing is, it's a bit, you can't do it to the National Business Centre. You can't send the form to them. There's a different form. You cannot do it through the N244. I'm going to go over this and explain this process very, very soon. So it's a very interesting process that you need to know. She's going to need to know, because you cannot send a claim to move up to the High Court to get a High Court writ to enforce it with a High Court enforcement officer, a real bailiff, sending in two links pretending they're a bailiff. All right, that's good, but you can't do it with the normal form, because the Civil National Business Centre are just an office. So you have to transfer it now to your local county court, or she does. And then once it's been transferred for your local county court and they have the judgment, then you file that to move up to the High Court. So a little bit more complicated. So I'm just going to stop sharing. Where has it come back in there? Okay, so that's the first one. So there you go. And I will go through that. It's called an N293, I think, but I'll have to double check. It's not the N244 when you want to move it up. It's been in the National Business Centre. You have to transfer it to the your local county court, and then get the High Court writ. It's a little bit extra work, but worth it for £5,000. Now then, let's go and have a look. The next one, I think, was an image. I've got two images, and I think this is the first one. Yeah, this is the first one. So let me just go and share my screen again. Present, share screen, window. It's got to be that one. There we go. Okay, so open that up. So this is to him. Obviously, I've redacted it again on there. So thank you for your recent communication. We acknowledge your data subject access request. They're calling it a DSAR instead of an SAR. Makes no difference. Same thing. We are considering closing your account in an effort to resolve this matter quickly and efficiently for both parties. Very nice of you. Please confirm if this would be a good outcome instead of the DSAR. For avoidance of any doubt, if you agree to the closure of your account, we will also take this as confirmation of the withdrawal of your DSAR. I'll just have to, there's a part 2. Will it swap over? Oh, it does, look. So we've already said that for avoidance of doubt. That's their address, so I don't care about that. We look forward to hearing from you. Kind regards, Data Protection Officer, and that's ACI. There you go. There's their address, Data Protection Officer for ACI Collections. Right, so what they've said, tell you what, I'll just stop sharing. You don't have to look at that, do you? Come back in. Right, the SER, they're calling it a DSAR. Some of them do. All right, subject access request, data subject access request, all the same thing. But you're allowed to do that under Article 15. He sent it off. He's obviously asking for details that they haven't got. They're panicking. So I tell you what, rather than have him file at court, because he's going to file at court, and that's going to be another 5,000. Okay, they don't want to be paying out 5,000 to all of these people that we are sharing this knowledge with. So what they've said there, look at that, it's fantastic. Look, now he's happy, by the way. I've spoke to him, I said, look, we can push for this if you want. No, can't be bothered. And he has got 4 or 5 others that would, you know, he's involved with that. I'm giving him some paperwork for. So, do you know what I mean? It's like, just, you know, he's got the templates. He's got to go through it. He's got to sign them, send them off, and, you know, deal with the replies. And, you know, we probably will end up in court with some of them if he goes for compensation. But he's got that there. He thought that's the first one. It's given him a massive boost of confidence as well, because now he knows that it is true. He knows that they're not allowed to do these things without a legally executed deed of assignment. Now, not only are they not allowed to do it, but that they also have to be completely transparent, compliant, fairness, right? That's all to do with GDPR. So the GDPR, it's very, very like plain. It's like very descriptive. It tells you point blank. They have to give you all data that concerns you, the data subject, So it isn't just like, oh, well, I need to see whatever you've got on my name and address. No, 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 no. Which is when it falls down, their argument says, well, you can't see the deed of assignment because it's got none of your details on. I mean, that's just stupid anyway. We know that. So really, you've bought a debt and you've actually got the deed saying whose debt it is, but it doesn't tell you whose it is. But anyway, that aside, if it was talking about your debt, but it didn't have your name on, it's still your data under GDPR regulations. There, it still is. So under Article 15, they still have to supply that, right? That is a fact. It's very clear. And again, this is settled law. This is not made up. This is not, hopefully this will happen. Hopefully they'll do this. It's their regulations. It's their laws, call it that if they want, right? But it's already settled. So under stare decisis, they have to follow precedent set. Now, not only that, right, they know they're in the wrong. So they're just kicking it out. Look, if you stop us, don't take us to court, we'll get rid of your debt, which they'll also get rid of defaults. They'll get rid of it on the credit file. So it's going to repair your credit file as well. This is how to do it using GDPR backed up with equity. So if they're going to act like in bad faith, all right, unconscionable, it's hard to say that, unconscionable conduct or behavior, then they are going to get into trouble. All right. So there you've seen that one as well. And I think I've got one more. This one, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this one is actually just a notice that I've actually put it on a Word document so I can read it to you. This is 2 emails. I don't want to go and share the email because I'd have to redact all of the sides because it's just an email, shows everybody else's information. So I've just copied it and put it on there, right? So I asked him for more information from what he had meant. Now give me a second. So I'll share the screen again. Share screen. It must be up on here somewhere. Actually, do you know what? I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. DCA. Right, there we go. Open that. Okay. So just read this out to you. So, dear Peter, this is a thank you for all your brilliant work your efforts have done for me. I joined one of your seminars for just £15 and learned how to deal with financial torture. Oh dear. I had 11 debts totaling 28,800, so nearly £30,000. And I've had a full settlement of £3,000 closing all debts. I think if I had gone all the way, I probably could have done better, but this was a great outcome for me. Keep up the good work. I will keep following you and forwarding your details to other troubled souls. Many thanks. And obviously I took his name out, but it was supplied. Then I asked him, like, well, what happened? Let me know a little bit more. He didn't know me that much more, but just this is what he come back with. Yes, Peter, I have a much reduced income as I can only work part-time due to fatigue issues from liver damage. Every debt company was playing hardball with me, only giving me breathing space. I came across you on TikTok. I followed you and realized my chances were not as bad as I thought. I paid and watched your seminar. That was that £15 one he did. I think that must have been probably, I think it was about October last year, 2024, and sent your template to stop the calls. I was able to offer the 11 companies altogether £3,000 of the 28,800. I think what he means from dad. I'm presuming he borrowed the 3,000 from his dad. I presume that's what he means, but it doesn't really say that, so you can make your own mind up, but it looks like that. And all debts have been written off. So in other words, he's wrote off nearly £30,000 worth of debt for 10%, £3,000. So he's obviously feeling better in himself rather than have to fight all the way through court. That's why I'm saying it is horses for courses. Everybody is different. And this for him is a fantastic result. And he feels so happy. Right, that is the difference. We have to all just treat everyone as they want to be treated and respect them for it. Okay, so finish off. I have had paperwork stating full and final settlement and credit reference agencies are now satisfied. You gave me the confidence to take them on. I know you would have gone further, Peter, with compensation and paid nothing, but I decided I'd had enough of it time-wise. Right. Please feel free to use my story if it is of any use to you, with thanks and name again supplied. So there you go. So, I mean, I'll just come out of there. You've read it now. So again, like I'm saying, You know, we're all different, and we have to be completely happy for him. He's feeling so much better. He's wiped that off. 30 grand's worth of debt, £3,000. Now, obviously, his dad's gonna. I presume that's what it looks like. That's what it means, doesn't it? So, you know, he'll be able to easily pay his dad off in a long period of time. No problem there. They're not going to. His dad's not going to be knocking on his door and trying to steal his furniture. So, at least I hope not. But that is the kind of things that you can actually get. So there's 3 different scenarios there, 3 different things that have happened. And like I said, last week and the other one, so there's 4 different things. They actually got compensation, but there was the other 2 as well. We did actually get another 2 CCJs. One of them was against PRA. The compensation was against PRA. They're going to be happy. And the other one, I think, was Link as well. Yeah, I think it was Link. So, you know, this is how you can learn, and this is how we move forward. There's the proof. It's all out there. All you have to do is study. Now, this is going to go in the group. I might actually go and put this up as well onto YouTube, but it's going to go in the private group. So if you go in the private group, you have the ability to, you've got the open courses, classrooms. You can go into the open classrooms, tons of information in there. But if you want to specifically add an upgrade to gold, you get everything in there. Every classroom is then open to you, or you can just go and buy an individual classroom, donate to get into an individual classroom, and then that will be yours, and you can take all the information out of that, just that one, if that's all you want. So you have that kind of flexibility, ability, and you know, we have the weekly meetings every Thursday. They're in there, live meetings, question and answer, going over different things. You know, at the end of the day, we used to do we used to have this guy. He's called Geordie. He was one of my used to be instructing me, teaching me a Filipino martial art called Kali or Eskrima. Some people call it Ornis. Different names. There's lots of different tribes all over the Philippine Islands. But basically, they would use knives and sticks. So it's a very, very famous martial art. It's a deadly martial art. I've actually shown a couple of little videos on the group. I just remember him always saying, repetition is the mother of success. Repetition is the mother of success. You can't do this once and think you can do it. You have to go over it and over it and over it, and to get it into muscle memory. So all of these movements that we used to be doing with the hands and the feet and moving around, and weapons as well. So you don't want to make a mistake and break a finger or a hand or split your head open, which we did many, many times, as you would expect, using live weapons to try and sort of like get better at what you were doing. But this is the same type of thing. So we have the weekly meetings. We go over, it doesn't matter what it is. You know, if we're going over the actual GDPR, mixing it with the equity, we've been studying the books, you know, and if like the GDPR, you can get it all from the government websites. You just download it, you go over it and over it, and then you've got to find all the different sections. I'm not telling you it's exciting, you know, it is not, but you've got to be able to put it together to get the research. And it completely smacks like, you know, like 3-letter processes straight in the backside, you know, like conditional acceptance. Forget it. Old hat. Attack them where it's like the modern thing coming in, using the GDPR, modern compared to 1925, like Law of Property Act, and using it on top of there, and then putting the equity inside of it for you can show them the unconscionable conduct, you know, and that's what's going to help you. So, you know, go over to the group. You can actually have a look, try it out. And then if you want to get involved, go on to more. It's a very positive group. We don't accept anything negativity whatsoever. One comment, you're gone. We don't care who it is, right? It's like not all, it's about helping each other. It's about being like that, friendly, helping, supporting, right? There's no ego in there. There's no nothing. Don't accept it. I don't put it out myself. And you know, if you come in and try to be silly with anything, you're gone immediately. So everything is a good, light, positive atmosphere. It's an environment that can actually help develop you, so you can actually develop into being able to fight these different things. The information is huge, coming from like all the actual law books that we have got stacks up there, right down in the corner. Look, we have the whole that there is right. Every book on Halsbury's law, right? That is the English Constitution. I only have it because I'm trying to show and prove to people that it's the Scottish Constitution is not the English one. It's completely different. Scottish law is coming under civil law, whereas civil law jurisdiction, whereas English is like a common law jurisdiction. And the English invaded Scotland and stuff, and that's why I got that. And it's not just about showing people the Constitution for England and being able to show them how to actually stand up for your rights using Hailsbury's law, because that kicks them in the backside as well a lot, and you tie that in with GDPR on top of it, and then equity, and then you're cooking on gas. But just thought I'd show you some more results. I'm going to put this up into the private group. I'm probably going to put it up into YouTube as well anyway, why not? And I'm going to put the link. I mean, obviously if you're in the group, you're in the group, right? But I'll put the link in the description if it's going on to YouTube, to go and check out our private group as well. Checkmate the Matrix. Okay, take care, and I'll see you all later when we'll get some more results. Best stop recording it now and see what we can do with this.